Around 3,200 people were waiting to leave or enter New Caledonia as commercial flights were cancelled due to the unrest that broke out last week. Now, Australia and New Zealand have sent flights to evacuate their stranded citizens. French President Emmanuel Macron will be travelling to New Caledonia as the unrest continues despite the state of emergency. DD India's Mihir Makuri gives us a 360-degree view.
The sight of long lines of torched cars, looted shops and debris in the South Pacific is not a usual one. These streets of New Caledonia reveal the extent of destruction caused by week-long deadly riots. At least 6 people have died and many more are feared dead. The civil unrest was caused by a controversial bill that allowed more French residents to vote in local elections. The 5 nights of upheaval has led Australia and New Zealand to send government planes to New Caledonia on Tuesday to evacuate nationals from the French territory. Now let's try to connect New Caledonia's history with its present scenario. Indigenous Melanesian Kanak people have inhabited the area for thousands of years. Western colonial interest in the island sparked with the arrival of British explorer James Cook in 1774. In 1853, France annexed the island, initiating a long period of control. New Caledonia officially became a French overseas territory in the year 1946. Starting in 1970s, following a nickel boom that attracted outsiders, tensions escalated on the island. Influx of outsiders sparked conflicts between Paris and Kanak independence movements. In 1998, Nomia Accord was signed, which helped resolve the conflict by outlining a path to gradual autonomy. Nomia Accord also restricted voting to Kanak and migrants residing in New Caledonia before 1998. Nomia Accord allowed for 3 referendums to determine the future of New Caledonia. In all the 3 referendums, independence was rejected. The island's each community has different outlook. Kanaks favor independence. However, European origin groups and other immigrants want French rule to continue. But why have these tensions exploded recently? Paris sees 1998 Nomia Accord's arrangement as undemocratic. This led to French lawmakers to approve a constitutional amendment. New bill opened the electorate to those who have lived in New Caledonia for at least 10 years. Macron has said he will delay rubber stamping it into new law. As per Macron, Paris will invite representatives of the territory's population to Paris for talks to reach a negotiated settlement. But Macron has said a new agreement must be reached by June or he will sign it into law. What does the new bill say? The new bill will enable French residents who have lived in New Caledonia for over 10 years to vote in provincial elections. Many pro-independence Kanaks see this as a possible marginalization of their vote's significance. Now let's see where actually is New Caledonia. A group of 140 plus islands, New Caledonia is an overseas French territory in the warm waters of the Southwest Pacific Ocean. New Caledonia lies about 1,500 kilometers east of Australia and is Australia's closest neighbor. The French territory has nearly 300,000 people, with indigenous Kanak making up 40% and Europeans 24%. Why does New Caledonia matter? The mineral-rich territory is at the center of a regional power contest between China and Western allies. New Caledonia is the 3rd largest producer of nickel, essential for stainless steel and EV batteries. New Caledonia is one of 5 French island territories in the Indo-Pacific. It is central to French President Macron's plan to deepen French influence. Macron emphasizes expansion in the Pacific to preserve necessary balances in the region. Australia and New Zealand are currently evacuating their nationals from New Caledonia by sending government planes. Amidst heightened security, French President Emmanuel Macron will also travel to the Pacific overseas territory of New Caledonia. Mihir Makuri, reporting for DD India.
And let's connect with Ross Cullen, who's joining us from Paris with an update on this story. Well, Ross, what is President Macron's visit expected to achieve when he goes to New Caledonia? Is he also likely to face the wrath of the people there?
Well, hi Mark. Emmanuel Macron will be taking off this evening local time here in France in just a matter of hours, headed to New Caledonia for his first visit there since the unrest broke out more than a week ago. We do know that the French President will be launching some sort of mission or project there. The government wasn't giving all the details. They also didn't say how long he would stay on the island, but they did say he would be there to try to help this restoration of order, maybe have the chance as well to create the conditions for dialogue with some of the separatist and independentist groups. Also, he's going to be joined by the French Interior Minister Gerald Darmanin and the French Defence Secretary Sébastien Lecornu. We know the military have been deployed to protect public buildings. We also know that Gerald Darmanin said a bit earlier today, Tuesday, that another 4 planes with 3,000 more security personnel would be travelling to the island over the next 2 days.
Also, Ross, is there fear that the kind of unrest that we are seeing in New Caledonia can spread to other French overseas territories as well? And is that a bit of a concern back in Paris?
Well, the presidents of the different overseas territories did sign a joint letter on Sunday calling on the French government here in Paris, the central government, to delay the plan of having a Congress. That's when you have the Senate and the National Assembly coming together in a joint session of Parliament. It's what you need to do if you want to change the constitution, as the government wants to do. With these contentious voting reforms, the plans to widen out voting rights to French residents who've been on the island for at least 10 years. That's what sparked this whole civil unrest. If you want to have constitutional reform, you need to have that joint session of Parliament. Emmanuel Macron wants to hold it next month, but the presidents of different overseas territories have signed that joint letter saying you have to delay it, the conditions are not right, the whole situation is far too tense at the moment for that constitutional reform discussion, the joint session of Parliament, to go ahead.
We leave it there. Thanks very much. Ross Cullen joining us from Paris, and President Macron is going to be leaving very soon for New Caledonia.